Welcome back to Riksha Vibhavana, the tropical Vedic podcast where we take a closer look at the astrology of the week ahead. Our focus is the week of Sunday, December 7th to Saturday, December 13th. And to begin with, I would like to invite you to recall an old teaching from Black Elk, medicine man of the Oglala Sioux Nation, an indigenous people of North America, as he reflects on the cyclical nature of life. Everything the power of the world does is done in a circle. The sky is round, and I have heard that the earth is round like a ball, and so are all the stars. The wind, in its greatest power, whirls. Birds make their nest in circles. For theirs is the same religion as ours. The sun comes forth and goes down again in a circle. The moon does the same, and both are round. Even the seasons form a great circle in their changing, and always come back again to where they were. The life of man is a circle from childhood to childhood, and so it is with everything where the power moves. Astrology is in many ways the contemplative recognition of this very cycle. In the language of the Bhagavad Gita, Bhutva Bhutva Praliyate, creation and disintegration follow one another. The awareness that life breathes in patterns. We feel these shifts not abstractly, but also very subjectively. The movement of the sun alone reshapes the quality of our days. The light changes, our energy changes, our orientation to the world changes. And each month, when the moon joins the sun in the same sign, a new cycle unfolds, a seed moment that invites growth in one particular area of life, the astrological sign hosting the sun and moon. Wherever the sun is, that is where the new beginning takes place. Right now, the sun is moving through Sagittarius, preparing the ground for the up-and-coming Sagittarius new moon. Mercury will soon join as well, concentrating the archetypal fire of this sign even further. In fact, by Thursday, December 11th, Mars, the Sun, Venus and Mercury will all be in Sagittarius. So let's reflect on Sagittarius itself, because this sign sets the stage for the entire season ahead. Sagittarius is a mutable fire sign, a flame that moves, travels, teaches, and reaches. It is not the steady heart fire of Leo, nor the initiatory spark of Aries, eager to get things going. Sagittarius is the fire that illuminates a path, the fire carried in the hand of a seeker, perhaps even a spiritual warrior. And as with all fire signs, something must be burned. In Sagittarius, what is burned is ignorance, avidya, the limiting beliefs, the narrow frameworks, the habitual assumptions that keep consciousness enclosed. The fire of this sign is purifying. It breaks open the mind so that vision can expand. Its ruling planet is Jupiter, and Jupiter's nature is sattva, clarity, luminosity, understanding, and the expansion of consciousness. In fact, in the classical Vedic astrology texts, Jupiter is often equated with jnana, with knowing. And right now, Jupiter is in Cancer. Its sign of exaltation. In Jyotisha, we speak of planets moving through modulations of strength and purity. And here Jupiter is at a high water mark, a planet in full possession of its benefic, life-giving, wisdom-bestowing capacity. When Jupiter is strong, the mind lifts towards meaning. Discernment sharpens. Compassion deepens. There is a sense that life has a pattern and that the pattern is intelligible. Even so, though the world may appear loud, chaotic, and fractured, There is, for anyone willing to step aside from the noise, a quiet radiance of insight. Sagittarius season opens a window into a higher field of understanding, and Jupiter in Cancer offers the emotional grounding needed to receive that light with sincerity. And if we look at the sign's imagery, the centaur itself reveals the Sagittarian struggle. Half human, half animal. One nature reaching upward toward the heavens with the arrow, the other rooted in instinct and the weight of embodiment. Sagittarius is the ongoing battle between the higher and the lower, the aspiration towards truth and the pull towards habit, the quest for wisdom and the inertia of old patterns. But crucially, this animal nature is not meant to be rejected or renounced. It is the raw power, the instinctive vitality that must be brought into alignment with the higher aim. The centaur's struggle is not one of denial, but one of integration. To take the full force of one's earthly impulses and guide them towards a spiritual trajectory. Sagittarius shines precisely in this capacity, to empower the alignment of the instinctive with the aspirational. This is then also where the Bhagavad Gita becomes more than metaphor. It becomes the Sagittarian archetype itself. Arjuna's crisis on the battlefield is not merely a moral dilemma. It is the drama of Sagittarius made visible. He stands between his psychophysical nature, his swadharma as a warrior, and his longing for a higher, universal dharma. Under Krishna's guidance, he discovers that these are not two separate paths, but one dharma expressed through the unique conditions of his life. His worldly nature, when illuminated, becomes the channel of his spiritual duty. The struggle is not between two dharmas, but between ignorance and alignment, between seeing dharma as divided versus recognizing that dharma is one, though its expression is particular. And this is the Sagittarian invitation, to create within ourselves the conditions for illumination, to listen to the higher meaning within the circumstances of our lives, and to align our natural capacities, our instincts, talents, personality, and path with a deeper spiritual aim. Alignment and yoga are not different themes here. They are the same movement. To align is to practice yoga. To practice yoga is to bring one's nature into harmony with one's purpose. So as this season unfolds, we are invited to lift our eyes from the noise of the immediate world and ask, what must be burned for clarity to arise? What must be aligned rather than denied? How do my natural capacities become the vehicle of my dharma? And towards what horizon does the arrow of my intention truly point? Under the exalted blessings of Jupiter, these questions do not remain abstract. They become lived, embodied, and spiritually clarifying. And this brings us back to the week ahead. As we move through this week, one of the most important configurations to watch is the Mars-Saturn square, becoming exact on Monday, December 8th, and continuing to influence the energetic tone of the week until Thursday, the 11th of December. This is a classic tension aspect, force meeting resistance, momentum encountering a boundary. It's almost like the gas pedal and the brake pedal are pushed down simultaneously. Mars wants to move, to act, to push ahead with initiative and desire. Saturn insists on restraint, structure, patience, and accountability. When these two planets cross swords, we often feel a kind of internal friction. The sense that something needs to happen, but the conditions aren't fully supportive yet. There may be delays, obstacles, or the need to work harder than expected to break through inertia. Emotionally, this can show up as frustration or pressure. Spiritually, it often feels like a test of integrity, asking us whether our intentions are truly aligned with our dharma or just driven by impulses. However, the gift of this aspect is clarity. Saturn sharpens Mars. It forces precision. It burns away impulsivity so that action becomes more meaningful, more intentional. This is a moment to slow down just enough to ensure that your energy is being placed where it truly matters. Then, on Thursday, the 11th of December, we receive a notable shift. Mercury enters Sagittarius. After the introspective, often heavy mental tone of Mercury in Scorpio, reviewing, probing, uncovering, the mind now shifts into a wider field. Sagittarius brings perspective, optimism, and the desire to see the big picture. Thoughts expand, communication becomes more direct, fierier, more meaning-orientated. And to lean into this luminous current, it's crucial to have clarity on what meaning means in your life. Thank you for tuning in with me. I have been your host, Kavi. To stay connected, you can find me on Instagram at Eye of the Vedas. If you feel called to explore your own chart in more depth, I offer personalized readings and one-on-one study through my page. Wishing you a luminous week ahead. Hare Krishna.